We are back up at the barn today, and we're going to start getting this that hackberry on the ground that we cut the other day. And you see what we have here. We cut it loose from the stump, but it's it's forked. Ran into another hackberry out here, and it's hung up real nice. One fork is out there trying to get to the ground, and the other one is hung in another hackberry. And what we're going to do is disassemble this from the back end first. There's two ways you can do this. You can cut a face on the upper side, put a hinge in it, and fold it down. When you fold it down, it wants to push that crown away from the butt. And since we're into another tree here, it's not going to want to do that. So what we'll do instead is make a vertical cut so that the upper part can drop. Make a vertical cut until you see the kerf begin to close. Put a wedge in it to hold it open, cut on through the bottom, through to the bottom, and that will drop. And you can do that a few times. We may end up I'm sure we'll have to end up hooking the tractor to that and dragging it back, but we get rid of a bunch of weight in the meantime. And you see we've got a split going on there where that fork, bad branch angles. We got a major split there, so we'll have to be mindful of that so something doesn't break loose and come back and kill me. So anyway, we're going to set up there with the saw. Brought old 272 and the 572. 572 has a long bar on it, so we're going to use that so I can kind of stand back a few more inches. The old 272 has a 20-inch bar. I prefer to stand back just a little bit. You can see that split is going on down there, but I want to get this thing a little closer to the ground before I get into that split. And you have to be mindful that thing may decide to break loose and roll. Oh, it's stuck. Okay, you see we got two hackberries it's stuck in. It's leaning up against the one on the left. It's actually stuck through a fork in the one on the right. We will be dragging this thing back. There's no way that's going to come on down where that's stuck in that. Let me pull up there. You can see it's stuck in a fork up there. It's going to have to be dragged back. So we're going to disassemble it some here on the bottom first. Yeah, we are ready to run. Got the saw warmed up. Just a couple things off topic here. Warming up the saw. Now we pay a lot of money for this equipment and you want to take care of it. One of the things you do with a chainsaw is let this warm up. I saw this on one of Tim Ard's live streams. When you fire that thing up, you've got an aluminum piston in an iron cylinder. And that aluminum piston, of course, it's firing at the top. It warms up quickly. Aluminum conducts heat quickly. Well, that aluminum piston is going to expand before that cast iron cylinder warms up. And I like to fire it up and let it run easy for a bit. Get some heat into that cylinder so it can grow a little bit too. Because if you fire that up and then go right to cutting when it's cold, you're going to score that piston. But another thing, we come out here, we talk about safety equipment quite a bit. Of course, I always wear my hat. It's got a face shield. I've got glasses, got ear protection, wearing my chaps, and it used to be, I don't know how it is now, it used to be OSHA did not require that an operator had to have his gloves on. The reason for that is if you have both your hands on that saw, your hands are safe from the chain. But one of your big dangers out here is briars, getting snapped with a limb or whatever. And what I have found out now that I'm up past 70 years, my skin is getting thin. And everybody, if you live that long, you're going to see this too, probably in your 60s. Your skin gets thin, and it's easier to ding your skin and get a wound going. And so I've got to where I just put on gloves, even in the summer when I'm not doing anything strenuous. I like to put on gloves because there's a lot happening around that saw, and if nothing else, you're likely to get snapped pretty regularly with things. And of course, out here you get rose bushes, and they're nasty, but they hook you and you're going to bleed. So it's a good idea to wear your gloves. You can look up the OSHA regs and see what they require now, but I'm to the point now where I'm converted. I like to put my gloves on every time. Okay, I'm going to check this and see if we're right on target. Yeah. What we're going to do, I'm going to cut these in short segments, and I'm going to be cutting vertically, so it'll be going through the tree at an angle to the stem. I've had people say you ought to be cutting through at a right angle. Not for this. If you cut through at a right angle, what happens is that stem is pushing back, and it'll sit down on your lower piece and it won't move. I've had that happen. So you cut through vertically, and when that thing pushes back, it can drop straight down. So that's what we're going to do. Dramatic. Let me get my ears up, and that allowed that split to come on down. Still got that upper portion. Let me I gotta dig my wedge out of there. That was flat on the ground. That's great. Probably move the camera up here. That split just continued when that thing popped down. That's a good deal. Now let me loosen my clamp there. That's still stuck up there. The upper part is out of that fork up above. Let that drop down, but there's a fork in our cut one. There's a fork up there going into that hackberry. So we're going to take this on down. Move this in a little closer to you. There we go. And lock it in. Okay, we're going to repeat that. Okay, I think we can do one more go there. It's getting close to vertical. Now let's take a look at that. It's getting close to vertical. I can do one more. It'll be darn near vertical. And what we'll do after that is I'll come back here with a chain and pull that butt out with the tractor. So let's get up here a little closer again. Lock that in, and that fork up there is going to ride down on that hackberry, and this will allow us to drop that other little hackberry out there. We're out of that. This thing pulled out of that hackberry, so we're going to get in there and hit that again. Got to have a wedge and a hatchet handy. And there we go. Okay, we are back. Got the microphone on. Got her set up, got some chains on there. I'll have to pull forward a bit. If the chains stay hooked, we'll have that down. I'm going to pull my little beating iron out of there and my wedges. Put them back in the bucket. We're ready to pull ahead and see if that thing will come down. Okay, what we have now is we got it down. Anyway, Doug, you see how that, let's tip that up. When that tipped, it dug into the ground real nice. So what we're going to do now is a little more disassembly, and we'll get that baby all flat on the ground before you know it. So anyway, I'm going to cut her off right there. You see the process. Dragged it out. And I'll have to go ahead and bust it on down. So thank you very much for visiting. It's been a very nice morning out here. the firewood exercise later, so got her down. So that's how you do her. No troubles. Thank you very much for visiting. We really do appreciate every view. Love to get comments. And when you get tired of looking at me, click over to Tim Ard. Look at some of his content. He has saved countless lives with his training. Changes a lot of lives with the videos he puts out and the training sessions he sponsors. Catch y'all later. Thank you.